The world of hip-hop is buzzing again, and this time it's Jim Jones and Drake versus the industry's powerhouses, with 50 Cent swooping in to add his signature twist of drama. Jim Jones shocked the industry by stepping into Drake's corner amidst the rapper legal battle with Universal Music Group, framing it as a fight for artist rights. But leave it to 50 Cent to turn the narrative into a viral roast, dragging Jim for everything from his decision-making to his ties with Dipset. And just like that, old wounds have been reopened, and the Dipset drama is back at center stage. From diss tracks to public feuds, this saga has more twists than a soap opera. But how did it get to this point? Why is Jim backing Drake? And what does 50 Cent gain by reigniting the fire? Let's dive into the details.
Legal perspective, it's an interesting move on Drake's part. Notably, he's not suing Kendrick Lamar, right? He's suing Universal, which reps both of.
Now we're barely halfway into the 2025, yet we are already witnessing one of the biggest lawsuits. So we know Drake recently filed a lawsuit against centering on defamation claims linked to Kendrick Lamar's diss track, Not Like Us, which some perceived as a direct attack on the Canadian rapper,
including like actual physical that he could have incurred in financial harm. So they get into the first couple pages. Now, a couple things that we learned in this lawsuit within the first 5 pages that we didn't know. Remember when the shooting happened at Drake's home back in May?
So far, Drake's legal team argues that the real issue lies in role in promoting and profiting from the song. By filing the suit, Drake seeks to hold the label accountable for allegedly enabling damaging narratives about him. This move has sparked heated debate in the music community. On one hand, the lawsuit is seen as a bold attempt to challenge the industry's power dynamics, potentially paving the way for artists to gain greater control over their intellectual property. On the other hand, critics view it as a risky move that blurs the lines between personal disputes and professional litigation. Drake's legal team maintains that this case isn't about rap beef, but about protecting his reputation and setting a precedent for others in the industry. This lawsuit is about accountability. Source close to Drake's team stated Drake isn't just fighting for himself. He's standing up for artists everywhere. But when Drake filed a lawsuit against Universal Music Group, many in the music industry and fans alike were shocked. The lawsuit was aiming at one of the biggest record labels in the world. After seeing response, DJ Academics has even gone out to warn Drake about how is known for humbling artists. He explained how will call the judge to dismiss the lawsuit.
That's very interesting, and that's going to be very operative, not only in them trying to get this dismissed, but also in the federal case subsequently. Why? Because Drake is filing for defamation. Universal's kind of playing, it's a pre-card for everything. For everything. Because now, once music gets to a certain level,
I'm saying
very well said.
Like everything Universal give me is up in its stuff. Yeah. It's not, let's amicably see if let's have a mediate.
So, as expected, everyone in the hip-hop world were quick to take side. And as expected, not everyone took Drake's side. Joe Budden, known for his unfiltered opinions, has been one of the most vocal critics of Drake's lawsuit during a recent episode of his podcast Budden accused Drake of playing both the aggressor and the victim, a move he described as Karen-likey Budden, also expressed sadness over what he sees as a shift in hip-hop culture. Diss tracks used to be about creativity and wordplay. Now they're turning into legal documents, he lamented.
Disgusting. It's nasty, man. He, like we said, he dropped the petition and has now filed the defamation and harassment suit.
But the interesting thing in there was UMG's position.
Well, sure, his criticism may spark a fresh wave of debate about whether Drake's actions are undermining the essence of rap battles or setting a new standard for professionalism in the industry. But at the moment, we are seeing some divide. The divide is between tradition and innovation, while some, like Joe Budden, lament the perceived erosion of rap's gritty authenticity. Others, including Jim Jones, see moves like Drake's lawsuit as necessary steps toward redefining power dynamics in the industry. However, what caught even more attention was Jim Jones stepping forward to openly support Drake.
Kendrick Lamar, which everybody seems to think that this lawsuit is about. He didn't sue Kendrick Lamar. He sued UMG, which is the biggest company that has the biggest bag, Nick. You think I ain't gonna sue Amazon if I ain't get a chance to? Me suing everybody.
Jim drew comparisons between Drake's actions and significant legal victories by other celebrities, noting that these cases often lead to systemic change. But Jim didn't just back him. He went all in, calling it a power move that mirrors Tracy Morgan's settlement with Walmart. Jim said, "It's not about rat beef. It's about business empowerment." To make his point clear, he clapped back at critics who said he was chasing clout, emphasizing how important it is for artists to challenge industry giants on the broken front. In podcast, Jim described Drake's actions as James Bond-level boldness, emphasizing the significance of standing up to corporate powerhouses. Jim highlighted how Drake's law could pave the way for other artists to gain better control over their intellectual property. He noted that while it's easy for people to dismiss these moves as personal vendettas, they often have far-reaching implications for the music industry. Jim's statement struck a chord with many smaller artists who feel left out of the current music landscape dominated by corporate powerhouses. But that's not all. Jim also took a jab at Universal, saying their delayed responses to Drake's case were just a sign of them trying to dodge accountability. Fans on social media were quick to applaud Jim for sticking up for artists, but not everyone was impressed.
On if I ain't get a chance to, me suing everybody. Any one of them companies I get a chance to playing at that level to sue for billions, I'm going for it. Are you crazy?
However, Jim's vocal support didn't sit well with everyone. Critics accused him of seeking clout. But Jim was quick to shut them down. "If I get the chance to sue a company like Amazon or Universal for billions, I'm taking it," he said, leaving no room for doubt about where he stands on challenging corporate dominance. This clash of perspectives only added fuel to the fire, turning DR lawsuit into a lightning rod for industry-wide debate. While Jim Jones doubled down on his stance against corporate exploitation, his critics, including 50 Cent, saw an opportunity to stir the pot. 50 Cent wasted no time jumping into the fray. After Jim Jones publicly supported Drake's lawsuit true to form, 50Y took to Instagram, delivering a viral roast aimed squarely at Jim. He accused the rapper of unnecessarily inserting himself into a situation that, in 50's words, had nothing to do with him. The post dripping with 50's signature quickly went viral, sparking debate across social media. This was an ongoing back and forth between 50 Cent and Jim Jones, which reached its boiling point, reigniting years-old feud. Now, I had all started when Jones appeared on the premiere episode of Justin LaBoy Respectfully, the Justin LaBoy Show, where he addressed comments made by 50 and Cameron. In a recent interview, Jones didn't hold back, calling out both rappers and laughing off their remarks. He said they were on his D and that he had done a lot for them in their life. 50 Cent quickly fired back on Instagram, turning up the heat by referencing allegations that Jones was implicated in federal informant rumors during 6,991 2019 R trial. In his post, 50 shared court transcripts and mocked Jones by calling him Individual One, a nickname that has since become a recurring punchline in their feud. 50's caption added fuel to the fire. "I know you working, so please don't say gangsters to me, Individual One." True to his trolling persona, 50 Cent didn't stop with one post. In a follow-up, he shared documents revealing a wiretap conversation involving rapper Jim Jones, where Jones is allegedly discussing the Treeway Crew and Tekashi 6,699. In the post, 50 Cent claims that Jim Jones is the only member of the Treeway Crew who wasn't arrested, suggesting that Jones might be an informant. The documents reportedly show a conversation where Jim Jones is discussing 6,999, who was infamously involved in a federal rearing case that led to his cooperation with the authorities. According to 50 Cent, Jones' lack of arrest raises serious questions about his involvement and suggests that he may have been working with law enforcement behind the scenes. In his T-Rod, 50 didn't stop at critiquing Jim's involvement with Drake's legal battle. He unearthed old Dipset drama, suggesting Jim should focus on reconciling with Cameron rather than positioning himself as Drake's Alive the post reignited long-standing tensions within hip-hop circles, especially between Jim and his former Dipset crew. Cameron wasn't one to let the moment pass quietly. In a candid episode of his talk show, It Is What It Is, he revisited his turbulent history with Jim Jones, shedding light on lingering tensions and unresolved grievances. In a no-holds-barred episode of his talk show, It Is What It Is, Cameron addressed his long-standing issues with Jim Jones, reigniting the flames of their rocky relationship. The Dipset leader accused Jim of betrayal, specifically referencing his alignment with 50 Cent during the notorious Dipset Gun It feud in the mid-2000s. Cam framed this moment as a defining fracture in their bond, which has yet to fully heal. Cam didn't stop there. He questioned Jim's Harlem roots, asserting that Jim isn't truly part of the community he so often claims to represent. He called him a guardian angel and designer, and he's from the Bronx, bro, and not from Harlem.
You get what the f is you talking about, man? You are from the Bronx, bro. You are not from Harlem. Why do you keep thinking that you are from Harlem, bro? You are not from Harlem. I did not grow up with you, man. I did not grow up with you. Contrary to what you believe.
He mocked Jim's introduction to Dipset, painting a picture of a fanboy, desperate to be included. According to Cam, Jim invited them to his home after hearing their freestyle, a move Cam suggested was less about collaboration and more about fandom, adding fuel to the fire Cam dredged up past incidents accusing Jim of cowardice. During a run-in with the Black Mafia family BMF, he asked him whether he had heard him ever talk about when Jim ran on him, when BMF pulled up recounting how Jim allegedly fled to the ocean for safety.
You hear me talk about when you ran on me when BMF pulled up? When you ran in the hotel, they chased you to the beach. All niggas, and lucky, you went and got a couple niggas, and I know these niggas, they my niggas too. You tell them you got a problem, they jump in the car. They don't know who you got a problem with.
Coming in to confirm the narrative was Dame confirmed Cameron's story that Jim Jones tried to get him jumped in front of his woman at his art gallery, and says the level of disrespect blew his mind, while Cam claimed he refrains from highlighting these stories to avoid degrading Jim's character. The pointed remarks exposed deep-seated resentment. One thing, the episode painted a vivid picture of unresolved tension, reminding fans that the Dipset legacy, while iconic, remains fraught with discord.
20 years ago, however many years ago, I thought it was all good. I had no problem thinking, yo, okay, he tricked niggas out their spot, came to the spot. I know 50 said it.
Now, this feud isn't happening in a vacuum. Cameron and Jim have been at odds for years, and 50 Cent's jab about fixing Dipset only added fuel to the fire. Cam hasn't been shy about airing his grievances. Either he's accused Jim of betraying him by teaming up with 50 during their infamous beef in the mid-2000s. Their relationship has been a roller coaster, with public reconciliations followed by private disputes. Cam has often criticized Jim's leadership within Dipset, questioning his loyalty and decision-making. Meanwhile, Jim has countered with accusations that Cam's ego has been a roadblock for the group's progress.
12 years. His godson, that was 13 years old, 8 years. Shotty, he was trying to be 12.
And while Jim has criticized Cam for mishandling Dipset's business, calling him petty, Cam has fired back with claims about Jim's Harlem credentials. The back and forth has been exhausting for fans who just want to see the group reunite. Jules Santana even chimed in saying it's like a family feud he can't mediate, leaving Dipset's future hanging by a thread. While Jim and Cam are busy trading shots, Jules has tried to stay neutral. He's called the ongoing beef disappointing, especially considering how much they've achieved together. But Jules also made it clear he's not picking sides. He said he can't be the middleman, which leaves fans wondering if anyone can bridge the gap.
Cam and 50, the Cam and 50 beef was like a public display. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was from the radio, Hot 97. You know what I'm saying? 50 went up there and said some things, you know what I'm saying, about Koch and
Jules' perspective adds a layer of sadness to this saga. He's publicly stated how much he values their brotherhood, but even he seems powerless to stop the drama. His frustration mirrors what many fans feel, a mix of nostalgia for the old Dipset and frustration over their inability to move Forward Jim isn't taking 50's shade lining down. Word on the street is that Jim's been in the studio cooking up diss tracks aimed at both Cam and 50.
Jimmy Jones, yes sir, I want you to know one thing. Jimmy Jones, yeah, what you have to say about it.
This comes after he came at them telling Cam and 5050 to get off his D. Jones spoke when he recently appeared on an episode of Justin Leo's Respectfully podcast, where he was asked about his thoughts on Fifth's comments and appearance on Cam's segment Talk With Flea.
What it is, man.
Keeping it Cam right now. He just did the interview with 50.
For the younger audience, we had like a rap battle thing at one time. And
the diss tracks, if they surface, could reignite an old-school rap battle vibe, reminding fans of a time when music, not social media, was the battleground for feuds. However, the merch campaign suggests Jim is looking beyond the music, aiming to capitalize on Dipset legacy in a more entrepreneurial way. Jim's decision to support Drake has sparked more than just a conversation. It's reignited old tensions and brought new drama to the table, with 50C adding fuel to the fire and Dipset internal conflicts showing no signs of cooling down. The future of the group remains uncertain. Will Jim's bold move pay off, or will it only deepen the divide? Let us know in the comments. Do you think Jim was right to support Drake, and can Dipset ever truly reconcile? Stick around for our next video, where we'll dive into 5050 Cent's latest industry moves and how they're shaking things up. Don't miss it.